What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. It is the Top 5 Advanced Week 7. But before we get into that, we've got a few things. In the background, you're going to see Cow and Baby 902's camp. We're just giving you a little tour of this. This is an amazing camp. But we do have an update on the submission time length, okay? When you guys are submitting camps to the competition or anything like that, it has to be a 3-minute maximum length. I'm not counting your intro or your outro, but the section in the middle where you've got your actual camp being displayed, it cannot exceed 3 minutes, okay? Before we had a 5-minute time limit, and people were submitting stuff that were 8 to 10 minutes long. I even had somebody say, hey, this is a really long video. Just edit it, cut out the stuff that you like, and then use that. Look, as much as I would love to be doing stuff like that, there's no freaking way. There's no way. Think about how long it takes you guys to edit one video. I'm getting 30 of these things a week, all right? It's just not humanly possible to be doing that and then keep the quality that I'm trying to present. So keep your submissions 3 minutes tops. And again, no, I'm not including your intro, I'm not including your outro, but that section that you're displaying your camp cannot exceed 3 minutes, okay? And I hate to do that, but it is what it is, all right? We've got a ton of participation, and you guys have to remember, we have the advanced, we have intermediate, we've got the vault section. I run other contests next to Bethesda's contests. I have my own challenge contests that I've put on the back burner because of all this stuff that's going on. So if we get 10 entries in each category, that's an hour and a half of footage that we have to go through. That's a lot. And what I don't want to do is have this be like a mass production kind of thing where we're not spending the necessary time, or we're shorting your time as the creator by just rushing through this stuff. It's not fair to you guys. It's not fair to the competition. So just keep that in mind. All right. This isn't something that, I really want to do, but in all fairness, it has to happen. And I'm sorry. So keep your submissions at 3 minutes. And again, I'm going to repeat it. That does not include your intro or your outro. I will cut those. But yeah, we got to be realistic about this. There's a lot of participation in these, and I don't want the quality of our judging and stuff to be, rushed through. It's just not fair to you guys. Okay. So I hope that you guys understand. Quite a few of the main participants, the ones that are regularly doing this, have reached out to me, and they've recognized this problem. And it's been brought up a lot in conversations. So 3 minutes is more than enough time for you to present your camp, and that's just how it's going to have to be. But this is Cow and Baby's camp, and what a beautiful freaking job. At the end here, he's going to disappear the camp, and that way you can see the actual location where it's at. He did a really, really good job at hiding this camp, and you'll see here when he pans out. Basically, he used the grass roof tiles, you can see right there, and he piled leaves all over it because it has a repetitive pattern, and he tried to hide that and mask it. So at certain angles, yeah, you can't even tell that thing's there. So a very good job, Cow, and we love seeing your stuff. But let's get into the top 5. So first off, we have ND. Now, ND is somebody that I get to actually go and see their camps out there in the real world because they are on PC. And I came over here unbeknownst to him. Ha ha ha. I'm a sneaky bear. I came over here and I was perving on his camp. What a really cool location. I have one actually, my camp's literally on the other side of this one. Good location. He did a really phenomenal job with actually just making this look like a beat up, run down house. And the main focus of this actual project that he created was the rooftop lab, obviously. Fantastic job, though. I love the how broken that the actual building appears. And he does have the area blocked off where you can't get in certain areas, but he has it decorated so it looks all crappy and junky. And it was a really, really good job. I thought it was a very cute build and cute idea, too. Um, ND, man, I've watched you for quite a while now. And it's amazing to me that the variety of ideas that you have. So it's not just, hey, this is one genre that I do or anything like that. He has a variety of styles. He really doesn't have a, quote style. He does a variety of things. And that's a fantastic way to be because, approaching camp builds like that. Ooh, this terrarium. He put the snakes in there. Um, Having that style where you're just, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and they're all vastly different. It forces creativity, which is a really good way to improve your creative abilities and to get your brainstorming about different ways to do things. And I absolutely love that about ND. Not a single camp I've ever seen has been disappointing. His merging is on point. Very, very rarely are you ever going to find something floating in his camps. Um, and if you do, it's because he just happened to miss it. He is a stickler for quality, and, well, it shows. I love the terrarium, though. That was a really cute thing that you did there, where it's got a seating area. But check out all the decor that he's got here. He's got his workbenches, and that's what this is focused on. This is actually a functional camp with workbenches that you can use. It's not just a piece of art, it's functional. And you did a really good job. A lot of people will avoid using crafting benches and stuff like that because they are freaking budget killers. Man, are they. And I know that because I put them in all of my camps, and it is freaking terrible. But he did a really good job. I love this. And I was going to come over there when, I did catch him when he was during the build process. And then I left him alone and then came and perved on it after the fact when he was all done. But I love that we can go and see other people's camps. That would be the best part about if this was cross-platform. We would get to just walk around perving on everybody's camps, and that would be a really good thing. But there are some very bad downsides if we did go cross-platform. But yeah, that's for another discussion. But man, this is a phenomenal job, man. I love seeing ND stuff. I'm always perving on them. That's what we are. We're a bunch of camp pervs. It happens. I love the scenes that you create, though. This is great. But that building, though, man, I wish that there was a little bit more footage in there so people could actually, see that aspect of the build, because it is a rundown, crappy, broken up place. It looks like my house. And next up, we have Mr. KIFd. Now, this person I have heard of, and I've seen a couple entries and stuff like that they've done for past top 5. But this is another one that I'm really happy that you've joined. This is the kind of stuff that we love seeing. This was built on one foundation, guys. Now, who does that remind you of? Any guesses? Well, I mean, you've got people like Radrucks out there that do things like that where it's a micro build. And it is extremely difficult. It sounds simple. It's only on one foundation. Have you ever tried to build on one foundation and actually make it look like a full, complete camp? It's ridiculously hard. And the use of the objects, so they've got the cabinetry hanging up there. That adds texture, and it gives the appearance that there's kind of an awning there with the roof sticking out. Those are full roof sections, guys. And obviously everything had to be broken and then put into place. But look at he's got like a simulated refrigerator there that was the stove. Well, not the stove, but the cabinetry. The display with the sign on the front, he's hiding things very well to give it different textures and a different appearance just from the stock stuff that we get. I love this. This is fantastic. And it was under budget. And that proves again that you don't have to use your entire budget. Radrux has proven that many times in the past. He had a killer build, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to come in here, stomp you guys, and I'm only going to use 30% budget." That stuff that takes a heck of a lot of creativity and a lot of time to figure out how you're going to accomplish that. But KIFd, I love this, man. Fantastic. You went above and beyond, and in such a small area. It's not overly crowded, but it is definitely packed in there where it shows the stuff. And that's what I was talking about. That cabinet right there with all the beer bottles and everything. You don't see anything floating in there. Everything's lined up nice. It looks very good. And then the extra use of textures. It's just texture upon texture that are piled on these walls. And that's how they create that. Don't know if you guys noticed, but that is a stash box, that roof line right there. It's amazing. Amazing. Hats off, man. And thanks for joining, because this is inspiring. And that's what this is about, guys. Essentially, that's what we're doing, is trying to inspire everybody and give them ideas. And then, of course, Hexapotent. What a disappointing builder. No, I'm just kidding. I love Hexapotent. Definitely has her own style, with the ambiance, the lighting, and things of that nature. Great builder. And, I just recently learned that she runs a trading group. So, that might be something that you want to look into if you're a trader. Look at that vendor area, though. Everything's nice, organized. Again, she is a master with the multi-textures and things like that. You've got the buoys hanging on the wall there. It's the netting. And I am so glad that Bethesda gave us that stuff that we can hang from the roof, because we're really lacking in that aspect. Very well organized, very well designed. And I'm not seeing a bunch of floating stuff. Everything looks like it was placed with precision, which that's important. And it's going to become really important into the future, because a lot of our merging techniques and stuff like that aren't going to be necessary. Next up, we have Daz Mead, the Wildwood Tavern. So Daz, if you guys missed the competition before, he had submitted a camp that basically it was a camp that was built in water, and all of the objects on the interior were submerged down into the water to give it the appearance that it was a flooded building. Now, he flipped the script on us. Clearly, he liked the idea. I love the idea. But he said, you know what, let's, instead of using water or anything like that, we're going to use the terrain, kind of like the interior's been buried some by the dirt, and maybe a landslide came in, who knows. It could have been a real nasty flood that brought a bunch of dirt and piled it up on the interior, and we're going to get to see that here in a second. But he did a phenomenal job, and I love that he's showing the camp during the daylight so we can see it. He's showing it at night so we can see where he placed the lights, because obviously you cannot see where the heck the lights go when it's daylight. And it really does change the appearance and the ambiance of your camp. Now, as we go inside, though, pay attention to the floor. Look at how the terrain's built up, and he has sunk all those things down into the terrain to make it look like, again, maybe there was a big flood or a landslide that came in, and, that stuff was already there. Amazing job. And, this is just another thing with Daz Mead. He's got a very unique style of his own. He's trying new things, different things, especially with the buried furnitures. I love seeing that. And look at this lighting. You've got your background lighting. It's not overly done. This is really good, man. I'm baffled this can be a pain in the ass, guys, if you haven't done this before, where you've had to sink a bunch of stuff down into terrain or water. And in the future, with the new building aspect of it, that part is still going to be a challenge when it comes to merging things in terrain, because currently on the PTS, we can't shove walls down into terrain and dirt like that. So, most likely, I am assuming that he had to go under the map, lay down some roofs, and then you have to go up under there and then, place your walls. That way they're not floating up above the terrain. It is a pain in the butt. It's a process. It's just a very long, tedious process. And Daz, my friend, dude, you nailed it. You nailed it again. It's amazing. Absolutely love this stuff. So next up, we have the infamous, the notorious, the heathens of the wasteland, the Akiras. And I'm just talking crap. These two are a power couple. That was spelled wrong. I'm just saying. It hurt my brain. My brain locked up when I read that. And it does every time. But the Akiras here, they've piled up a bunch of junk up under this thing, and I want you guys to pay attention, because look at this. They have all kinds of crap piled up under this building, and I've done this before on certain builds, and it can be a ridiculous pain in the butt. All right. Now, Akiras, you do have some boxes right there that aren't supported. They're floating, calling you out on it. Love you. It's a phenomenal job, though. The fans being in the water like that, where the heck did you come up with that idea? I don't know if you've seen that somewhere or what, but that is a brilliant idea. And it gives a unique spin on things. See, Cowan ain't here, and I hit you guys with the dad joke. You see that? The spinning. Because it's a fan. Come on, it's a fan. They spin. But great job piling all the crap up under here. They wedged the whole car up under here. Very well done. I mean, obviously, you guys all know the Akiras. They're famous for their style and their creativity. But they definitely are a power couple. I blame that. I blame that on the female of the group, though. That's my suspicion, because behind every decent guy, there's a really, really good man or woman that's in that relationship that pushes them. So, it's just, I'm bullying him right now, and I'm doing it publicly, okay? So it's just a joke. Fucking back off, all right? This is beautiful, though. Look at all the crap that they have piled in there. And, you're not seeing, at least on the top section. I forgive the stuff underneath being, not supported very well. But in the top area, yeah, I would definitely nitpick that. Great job. It's the Akiras. Come on, guys. Look at that. Their use of the lighting, and I really do like that fan idea. I have never seen that, and I'm curious, was that just a you guys thing? Did you come up with that? And, let us know in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious. Or next time that you're talking to me on Discord, let me know about that. I'm very curious. But this is not a normal thing for the Akiras. I mean, you can see this is kind of a scrappy build. And, this is something else that you guys need to realize. We have had a few people say, well, you guys lean toward the lore friendly or anything, there's no clean builds. Submit one. Come submit a clean build. We get them, but this summer, I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but it has been a fishing season. So you know what kind of camps people have been building? I'm going to give you one guess. Because we have had some clean builds, and they definitely get put in there and shown to the world. But you got to remember that a lot of times the trend goes with kind of the season, the new items that people are getting. They want to display those things, like that octopus in a jar. So yeah, no, we don't discriminate against clean builds or anything. Go submit one, pleased. I love seeing those things. But phenomenal job. Akira's, they never disappoint. They've done a really good job merging like the display case into that sunken table. They're very good, again, kind of like hexapotent, with the use of multi layers of things to give that appearance that there's different textures and things like that. It really does give the immersion or make your build pop depending on how you want to achieve that. And it's just a great job. Great job. My hat's off to you guys. And they have been working on a new intro for their videos. And, guys, we are limited on time here, so I do cut the intros, the outros. But Akira's, the intro came out really, really good. There's a few other members that have been working on stuff like that, and they've done a good job. Look at all the crap piled up there. That rug was floating. Damn it. Yeah. Oh, you get the little kitty cat. Meow. Now, this is very, very good, but it is a different thing compared to what the Akira's general style is. Normally, they're very kind of industrial, cyberpunky, steampunky, that futuristic kind of vibe. And they went the polar opposite. They went with something that's more rustic, and they still smashed it. So it really goes to show that their talent is not just limited to one genre. And that's a good thing. We should all do that. Try different things, do different things, create different styles than we normally do, because it forces you to push your boundaries and get creative in different ways. So, excellent job, my friends. Now, let's get to some honorable mention. Now, we've got Gappers here. Another great build. He's got this is a bait shop that he did, and very well done. The merging in the kitchen and stuff is clean. We have Busting My Ashley with an insane circular structure. This one's over in GAD, and it's kind of a raider-ish kind of arena thing, and very well done. The Atomic Punk robots. I'm a stickler. I love robots. So I shouldn't say a sucker for robots, but I love the idea of having like a robot repair shop or robots for sale. Very creative. We have the Wasteland Architect, and apparently this is where Joe Rogan does his podcasts. Crazy. I bet you guys didn't know that, huh? Creative idea for everybody. You guys did a phenomenal job. It's always a pleasure to be able to see these things and analyze them to see what the heck you guys are doing. And it's never disappointing. So now, the moment that we've been waiting for. And I'm going to give you a long pause. In first place, we have the Akiras. In second, Mr. KIFd. Fantastic job on that, by the way. And man, I'm really glad that you jumped in. That way we can get some inspiration off you. I appreciate it, man, but it was a lovely build. In third, we have Das Mead, and that was with the sunken, kitchen area, that sunken building with all the terrain piled up everywhere. Awesome job. I love the concept. I'm really glad that you expanded on that idea when you did the sunken building, and then now you've got the one that has the terrain instead. In fourth, we have Hexapotent. Awesome job, young lady. Really, really good. If you look at the front of her building, the scene that she sets with that it's pretty stellar, okay? And last but definitely not least is ND. And ND, I applaud you, because that you've created what looks like my real life house. So, great job, everybody. And seriously, I really do appreciate all the participation that you guys give and being a part of the community, because obviously you guys that are in the Discord, you see that we're highly active. We're always doing something in there, and you guys are always welcome to join in. So, until the next time, my friends, I love you guys. And remember, those videos, we got to keep them at 3 minutes. I love you.